Hello everyone and welcome to Discarded, a virtual art exhibition by the art gallery Ikouii. So great to have you with us, and you're in for a big treat today because we have got artists from all over the US and internationally showcasing how trash can become treasure, and just in so many creative ways. We've got paintings, we've got sculpture, we've got mosaics, and they all arouse in us an increased environmental consciousness to just see how materials that we would ordinarily think were only fit for the trash can can actually be repurposed and upcycled into so many creative things that end up being thought-provoking for many, many years after. So I am very, very excited and pleased today to be part of the selection committee for this exhibition. Very honored to have been asked to participate by Aletha Lindsay, who has participated in my organization, Gwinnett Recycles. I'm based outside of Atlanta in a suburb called Gwinnett County. And about 5 years ago, I was just inspired to create an organization called Gwinnett Recycles that would focus on engaging the million or so people in my large county to keep things out of the landfill and out of the environment, to rethink trash. It was just kind of an idea that struck me one day when I saw that people really are interested in doing the right thing when it comes to things that they're done using. They don't want to throw it in the trash can if they don't have to, if there's a better way. And so that's why I created my organization, to intervene and show them that there is a better way. And there's so many more things that trash can do. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Much more recently, I partnered with some neighbors to create a new grassroots organization called Come Clean Gwinnett, which is all about empowering those same residents of that county to take direct action on litter and blight. So if you see trash on the side of the road, get together with your neighbors and do something about it, is the spirit of that. So we have done about 100 cleanups, collected about 1,000 bags of trash. So through those experiences, definitely have given me a new perspective on litter and on miscellaneous debris that's out in the environment. And I love how a lot of the artists today incorporated those types of objects into their art in a very interesting and innovative kind of way. Some of the works that really struck a chord with me, an artist named Laura Michael used recycled objects, paper, cardboard that had a bit of a texture to it, to create these depictions of landscapes that have really, when you take a closer look, been shaped by the objects that have been extracted from them to make our consumer goods. That was a really innovative way to tie together those two concepts and create a really interesting metaphor. Filippo Francocci is an Italian artist featured in today's exhibition, who used recycled oil paints that a museum was getting rid of, as well as scavenged wood panels found behind a factory, to create some paintings that are just stunning and striking and moving, and made out of completely recycled, otherwise discarded materials. Another artist, Bethany Graebert, created a sculpture that is of a woman performing her morning routine, and part of the body of that sculpture is actually carved out, and you see packages of the personal care product category of soaps and shampoos and medication and things like that, making up part of her body. And that's just an incredible way to show that well, the role that those personal care type products play in our routine, but also that those types of products that we're ingesting or we're putting on our skin really do connect with our body in an intimate way and become part of us, for better or for worse. So that was a really, really interesting way to look at that. And then a native artist, Antoinette Thompson, used material that she found discarded, these name brand sneakers that she found littered on her reservation, the Navajo reservation, and totally ripped them apart and made these beautiful abstract sculptures that represent the act of an adult decolonizing and stepping away from the consumer mindset that may drive a lot of the youth in this country. So I was very clearly inspired. I'm someone who is a a zero waste evangelist, a waste enthusiast. This is stuff that I think about each and every day, and yet these artists found new and interesting perspectives to help me reconnect with my subject matter of choice in a brand new, eye-opening sort of way. So I really, really appreciate participating in this exhibition, and I know you're going to love it. I know you're going to want to add some of these works to your collection. I would encourage you to make a donation to the Ikouii Gallery. And another thing you might be inspired to do is to make some personal changes in your lifestyle to be more environmentally conscious going forward. And that is an area I can help you with. Obviously this is a major topic of study for me, a major topic of passion. I do believe that when you know better, you do better. So I want to invite you to read the book that has been most fundamentally transformative for me in my journey toward producing less waste, which is The Story of Stuff: How Our Obsession with Stuff is Trashing the Planet, Our Communities, and Our Health, and a Vision for Change. And this is by Annie Leonard, who's now the executive director of Greenpeace. That book is just such a good just primer on how to understand the linear systems of extraction, manufacturing, transportation, and ultimately use and disposal that drives everything on our planet in such a linear way that is ultimately non-sustainable on a finite planet with limited resources. So highly recommend that. And on a day-to-day basis, I'd encourage you to go back to the 3 R's that we learned in grade school: reduce, reuse, recycle. That phrase is in that order for a reason, so we need to not go out of order. Reducing is really, truly the number one thing that we need to start with each and every day, and that is saying, do I really need this thing that I think I want to go on Amazon and buy, or go to the store and buy, or do I really need that, or is that a need that or want that could be satisfied in some other way? And that also means, reducing also means looking at the things that we have and seeing how we can avoid obtaining things that are particularly disposable or single use, maybe only going to be used for a few minutes. So bring your own bag, bring your own water bottle, bring your own straw. I've even been known to bring my own utensils sometimes if I know that the only alternative is going to be plastic utensils. So go to those extra steps. If people look at you strangely, you're being an influencer, you're being a role model, and showing the true path to sustainability that our society is going to ultimately need to take. Of course, reusing is the next step. Reusing is something that can take so many forms. Obviously, the artists in the exhibit today show how reusing can be stunning in the sense of artwork. It can be upcycling, it can be reimagining and reinventing, and just create a completely new life that would have been completely hard to predict from the original form that something was in. It can also be as simple as repairing things, learning how to repair things in your world that get broken instead of just throwing them away and moving on to buying something new. It can be finding someone in your community who could really use that item, so you can donate it to them instead of just when it's no longer useful to you, throwing it away. And then recycling is a good third one to still do, but it is the last on the list. It's our last resort, not our first resort, because the problem with seeing recycling as the only thing we do is that for each cart worth of recycling that we produce and we roll out to our curb, 70 carts of trash were produced upstream with the phases of production and manufacturing and transportation. So recycling is never going to be enough to solve our waste problem or to eliminate discarded materials from our world, but it's still a smart thing to do for the finite materials that we do have, such as metal, to be recycled infinite number of times. Glass, same. If we can make it into something new and give it a new life through recycling, we want to do that. And then also on a related note to recycling is composting, which is nature's recycling. Composting is where we are giving organic materials such as food waste and yard trimmings a new life by turning it back into a soil amendment called compost. That's so important because when those materials end up in a landfill, they are emitting methane, which is a very potent and powerful greenhouse gas that causes climate change. So whether you live in a tiny apartment with no patio or deck whatsoever, or if you live in a house with a beautiful big yard or a farm, no matter your living situation or your budget, you are able to compost in some way. There's an option for you to be able to compost. So I want you to start that if you're not doing that already. So between learning and between reducing, reusing, composting, and recycling, and enjoying the exhibit today and really letting the meaning and the impact of these works sink in, I think you're going to be on a great track toward celebrating Earth Day all year round. So thank you so much for coming today, and I hope you really enjoy the exhibition. Please consider adding a work to your collection or making a donation to the Ikouii Art Gallery so they can continue to host really impactful exhibitions like this one. Thank you so much.